Welcome back. Here we go with exercise 14 for chapter 3. What is the objective? The objective to use an async try-catch finally with await to fetch data from an internet API and use $effect rune to summarize fetch data. This may seem like a little deviation from the other exercises, but this is something that you will have to handle when dealing with fetching data from a file, whether locally, on a server, or on the internet. For this exercise, we will fetch posts from the internet site typecoder.com. You need to complete the following. A. Copy component x14_async_await.svelte to the data chapter 3 folder. B. Add this to the exercise list.json file. Please pause the video until you have done this. Okay, let's see this in action. Open Exercises in the app and click the blue arrow next to Exercise 14. You should see loading, and after a few seconds you should see a user post counts with a summary of the posts for each user. Let's look at the code. We start with state for the data, a counter for the user posts, and a show posts to disable the display of individual posts. You could set that to true if you want to see them. Also declare state is loading so that a loading message can be displayed until the data is loaded. Always a good idea to keep users informed instead of looking at a screen that appears to be frozen. Next, we have the async function with the try-catch finally syntax. You can see the await being used within the try block. Await pauses the execution of the async function until a task is completed, actually until a promise is resolved or rejected. So, if response is not OK, an error is generated and handled in the catch section. If the response is OK, then we populate the data array and response.json converts into usable JSON data. In the finally section I added a timeout of 2 seconds to simulate a slow connection, so you would see loading until the timeout is completed and data is fetched. We then call the async function fetch posts. Next, we have an $effect, another rune, often used with data fetching. $effect can simply perform logic or, optionally, can return a callback function. Here I want to summarize the received data, so this is a side effect of having received the data. The posts received have a user ID, so we are populating our counts array for each user. This effect is triggered when any state inside the effect changes. In this case, that means if data changes. In the markup we have a conditional render showing loading or, if data fetched and show posts is true, then we see the post details. I don't want the details, so next in the markup is the user post counts, showing the total number of posts for each user. A few notes here on the $effect rune. $effect should be used for side effects. Other than initialization, be careful if you change state within an effect or you could cause infinite loops. Try to use $effect sparingly and check if you can use $derived instead. $effect updates last after other updates, so is not immediate. Okay, that's a wrap on exercise 14 and async await. And in fact that's a wrap for chapter 3 exercises. Coming up next is a set of challenges which are based on the topics covered in the exercises. See you in the challenges.